I'm Michael Russo, Russo's Books in Bakersfield, California. We've been here 24 years. It's a family-owned business. It's my parents, my brother, two sisters, and myself. And we've been very active in the business. We're here every day and loving it. My mom's the reader in the family, and we've always been retail, and we grew up with books. And the opportunity came that a used bookstore went up for sale, and we wanted to dive into the self-ownership, owning our own business. And when we saw a bookstore go up for sale, it was a used bookstore, we jumped at the opportunity, and it's just blossomed ever since. We came into the business at the end of the 80s, early 90s, just as Barnes & Noble and Borders were getting their sea legs about them and redefining what a bookstore is with coffee shops and sitting areas. And I like to say that at that time, it was also very dramatic, the change that was going on. And it was a tidal wave of change. And for a lot of small bookstores that were there in the 60s and 70s and 80s, they were swept away by that change. But we really rode that crest. We were able to inaugurate a lot of the things that they were doing, incorporate them into our store, and have good customer service. So things have changed since then, but those first few years were really special. As the book industry was changing, we were just coming on board, and we were able to keep it fresh. Bakersfield is a meat and potatoes type of community, and so we will definitely sell the best sellers, and popular fiction is really what tends to sell really well. Cookbooks sell really well. Local history, although we have all the national books, we really specialize in local books too. And local history is something that we're very proud of and that we're able to represent. And Bakersfield actually has a very rich history. Certainly not as time-wise as deep as some communities back east, but for the last 150 years, a lot of things that have happened in America are represented here in the Valley. There's an annual survey that comes out that always ranks Bakersfield out of the top 75 communities of a certain size as dead last, and as the most illiterate, if you will, community in the nation. And I'm going to take exception with that report. We are meat and potatoes. We do have a migrant population. There are some issues, so I don't take total exception. I do agree that there are certain things that our community needs to work on. However, very dynamic and very resilient is the people of this community and are the readers of this community. People do read. We have a very vibrant poetry groups, and groups plural, a lot of poetry groups that are meeting, that are holding events. We have book festivals. We have a community book or read. And the list goes on. And it's not just the schools, although the schools are very active in all that they do. It's individuals that are bringing authors into town who are supporting in different endeavors. The library has a full slate of programming. So I think the criteria that study uses does not really reflect on what people are actually doing in a specific community. And I'm here to tell you, I see it every day, that this community does read, this community does support books, and although we have a ways to go, we are very much in the mix. I love what we're doing. I love books, I love my community, and really that's how I see our store, is serving our community with something worthwhile. And I would love to see that grow and prosper. Where the book industry leads us and what that means going forward, you know, it's a little foggy. The future is. However, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for books in whatever form they may be, and I'm hopeful for Bakersfield and for our community.